Hey, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome to the video. Today we're gonna be just going through how to play controller on PC if you're interested in doing that. I get this question asked pretty much daily. I get asked, how do I set up my controller on PC without any input lag, and what are my settings? My settings actually haven't changed from the last time, my last video, but I made that like 3 months ago, so I might as well go over those real quick. We'll get into the settings first. I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll show you about how to set it up, how to set up your controller on PC while not getting any input lag. There's a few settings, there's a few things I had to mess around with in order to get mine working properly. We're also using a Razer Ryu controller. Let me see if I can show that to you right now. We're using a Razer Ryu controller. I'm going to try and get like a review up on this later. I don't normally use this, but it acts exactly the same way as a PS4 controller. This is what I usually use right here. But the way you set them up is the exact same thing. So like any official registered like pro controller that's meant for PlayStation will work perfectly fine on PC using this method. So basically just getting into my settings. They have not changed from the last time I made this video. So let's just go over. We're playing on old school settings still on my PS4 controller. Unfortunately, they have not added custom bindings yet. Fingers crossed they're going to add that. I cannot wait for them to add that to the game. But getting into just like my overall PC settings, 1080p. I lock my screen at 144 frames per second. I'll get into that later. Epic view distance, shadows off, AA off, textures epic, effects epic, post-processing, VSync. Actually, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide my face cam so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. But yeah, so here's all my settings. VSync off, motion blur off, show the FPS. That's sort of all up to you. So that's pretty straightforward. Now getting into the real juice of it, the controller settings. I run a controller sensitivity of 0.6 X and 0.6 Y. A lot of people will find that low. It's totally up to you. I'm going to kind of touch on that a little bit more. I also run my targeting sensitivity. We'll go back in there. I also run my targeting sensitivity at 0.65 and my scope sensitivity at 0.65 just to keep things consistent. This is, for those who don't know, your sensitivity when you're aimed down sight. Pretty straightforward. I don't like to run streamer mode unless like I'm doing a tournament or something and it's required. I have toggle sprint off, sprint by default off, sprint cancels reloading off, tap to search interact off, toggle targeting off, aim assist, keep that on, especially if you're playing on PC. You need any help you can get because there are absolute gods on PC. I turned edit mode aim assist off. Why it's even an option is like bizarre to me. Why do I keep exiting? God dang it. All the way to the bottom. Let's go. But why they've added edit aim assist as an option is bizarre. Turbo building on because it's overpowered. Auto material change on, obviously. Auto open doors, nope. I think some of these are new, actually. I don't even remember seeing these options before. I have record replays off because I'm capturing with my OBS anyways. I've got vibration off. I believe that's about it. There's my brightness setting, even though it doesn't make any sense to know. I believe that's it. I don't have any other custom controller bindings. But now to get into how to actually set up your controller so that you can use it on your PC. It's pretty easy. So I'm just going to bring back the face cam for that. So all you got to do is wire it. I see a lot of people using like third-party programs, and you might need to use something if you have to do like a custom rebind on your controller. If a lot of third-party controllers will have their own rebinding system. The best one I've had for custom weapon binding or custom button bindings is this controller. I'm actually giving it away right now. Link is in the description. But the Revolution Pro Controller 2, I don't necessarily like the way it's laid out because it sort of has a similar like. Let me full screen this. Has a similar like joystick layout as the Xbox. Not really into that, but it has a really good like custom binding scheme. It has its own software. You can go in. You can change any button to anything else. It's pretty sweet. But basically, all you got to do is wire your controller. You can do that with like your regular DualShock. You can do that with your Pro controller, but it has to be wired into your PC. I would recommend going and buying like a fancy cable for plugging in your controller. If you're just going to use the DualShock 4, honestly, like there's nothing wrong with the DualShock 4. It's a great controller. But basically, you're just going to want to buy probably like a longer third-party USB cable, one that fits a little bit more snug and just a little bit better and gives you more length, because this is your lifeline, right? When you're playing on PC, it's not like playing on PS4. Your controller gets unplugged, you're effed. You have absolutely no input to the PC. A lot of people do complain about input lag that they get while playing controller. I'm literally just like tying this around my entire chair. A lot of people I've seen complain about their controller having input lag when they're playing on PC. I wasn't having that problem, and then after like patch 5.1, I got it like crazy, and it was driving me nuts. It happened right before Summer Skirmish. It wasn't terribly bad in Summer Skirmish. I'm not going to use that as an excuse for not winning or placing in the top 20, but it kind of ramped up from there, and I just every single day I just kept getting more and more input lag. I turned on the frame rate limiter. I changed it to what my monitor's frame rate was, 144 frames per second. Money, dude. Worked perfectly, dude. From that point on, it was gold. Why that's the case, I have no idea. It just is the case. So yeah, limit your frame rate if you're getting input lag issues. The other thing I will say to do as well is to go into your... Somebody joined my lobby just then? Is to go into your sound settings as well, because when you plug in your PS4 controller, it will come up in your like playback in your recording, like basically your sound output and input as its own device. So you can see this one here is the Razer Raju. If you plug in a DualShock 4, it'll come up as like wired controller. You're gonna want to right click on that and disable it. It's currently enabled. You're going to want to disable that and then change it to your default input. The audio input through the controllers is weird. It's a little funky. And if you don't disable it, sometimes it will kind of steal the audio from the game for some reason. Like your sound will randomly cut out on Fortnite, and it will, I guess, be inputting to the controller. You're also going to need to go into your recording and disable it there. It's not necessarily 100% of the time you'll need to do this. Like, you may or may not need to do this, but I would recommend doing it because I was getting a little bit of the sound, like, being robbed, and that fixed my problem for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you play PC with a controller. You just need a wired DualShock 4, and if you're getting those input lag issues, I hope that advice helps you out. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for supporting the Stream Dream. Thank you guys for all the recent support on the videos. If you guys enjoy and appreciate this settings video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next live stream.